Hi, today's Wednesday, April 1st, and I thought I would talk about something a little more serious today, and that would be rope bondage and what it means to me as a bottom, and what it also means as far as the types of ropes that are used on me and possibly used on your play partner, your sub, your slave, however you like to refer to the person that you are playing with. I can't speak so much as far as being a rigger, because I've never been the one who has been tying people up. I've always been the one who is tied up. I do it for a number of reasons. I do it for modeling. I also do it for play. I get huge joy and relief after being bound, just because it is comforting to me to have those ropes tied around my skin. Um, I may be spanked during that time. I may not be spanked. I may just be tied up and left there for like 5 minutes. But my partner is always within proximity of me to make sure that I'm safe, I'm secure, that there is nothing going on, that if I need to be let out, that he, or if it's a she, normally it's a he, would be willing to let me out at that time. So I guess the best way I could start this is to go over a little safety. First thing you're going to want to do is to, I would say, make sure you're hydrated. Personally, I make sure I drink a lot of water just because I do not want to have my skin react in a certain way if I'm not hydrated. I'm saying a lot. I apologize for that. I also, the first thing that I always do before anybody ties me up, rule number one, go to the bathroom. Like, don't even be like, oh, I can hold it for 10 minutes. No, go to the bathroom. Please, I'm begging you, like, let that stuff go, because it's going to take them, depending on the type of tie that they do, anywhere between 3 minutes and maybe 7 to 10 minutes to let you out. And if you really have to go that bad, those couple of minutes, especially if you have a condition, like let's say you have a kidney condition or gallbladder condition that could irritate it, and you really don't want that to happen. I personally don't have a gallbladder, but that just means that liquids seem to go through me a whole lot faster, so I process it more, so I have to be aware of like what's going on. I have to know where the nearest bathroom is at all times. The other thing I can recommend whenever you're doing bottoming to someone who is tying you up is to make sure you eat. There is nothing that is less sexy than somebody tying you up and all they can hear is your stomach going crazy. It's also a matter of it's not safe. You're not fully aware what's going on. You can pass out. You can get dizzier faster. It's just always a good idea. I personally, for that reason, I keep protein bars in my purse at all time. Usually it's about 2, so I know that we're going to eat at some point during the night, but I keep one. I eat one before I'm even starting to be tied up, and then after all the ties are done for the night, I eat another one. It just it's better for my health to do that, and it's also better that the rigger or the person that I'm working with does not have to worry about me just passing out in the middle of a tie, which I don't know about you, would probably freak most people out. Let's see, a couple other things I could tell you. Thinking. Sorry, this is the point in the video where I go completely blank. Always, 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 always communicate with your rigger if you have any health conditions, if you have joint issues, if you have a heart issue, if you have asthma. You should always tell them these things. Where is your inhaler if something happens? If you get stung by something, let's say you're doing rigging outside, do you have an EpiPen? Where is your EpiPen? They're going to need to know these things. The first thing I always tell people that are working with me is that I have a bad knee. So if they are going to tie that leg at any point, it cannot be tied for more than 5, maybe 10 minutes maximum, and then I have to be let out because it's going to cause too much strain on my body. If you have a history of seizures, you should probably let them know that. I've never seen that happen in the middle of a session, but if it was to happen, they should probably be aware that you may or may not have a seizure. Make sure you're taking all your medication. It doesn't matter if it's your Benadryl because you have allergies, or if it's your pills because you have, how do I put this? Because you have mental health issues. If you haven't taken your pills for 3 days in a row, you may or may not react correctly to somebody tying you up. You need to be aware of that. Your mental health is always, besides your physical health, is always, always, always the most important thing to somebody who is doing this to you. Because another rule is that we always have, or at least I always have, is don't break your toys. Don't break the person you're playing with. They're not going to come back and want to play with you again. They're probably going to tell all their friends that they don't want to play with you again. And then you get this, there goes my stomach. Then you get this idea going around that you're like the worst person to play with because you didn't pay attention to what was going on. Let's see if I can think of anything else before I move on to the types of rope that I personally use, or that I have started out with and what I enjoy the most about them. And then there's ropes that I don't have, unfortunately, that I wish I could show you that terrify the crap out of me, but I like it because it does terrify the crap out of me. Oh, okay, so I'm going to tell you this other thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I am 5 foot, I weigh 125 pounds. If I'm getting rigged, like I'm seriously getting suspended, not just being tied up, I'm being suspended off the ground, do not lie about how much you weigh. Do not lie about that. Tell the person who is tying you up as close to possible how much you weigh. Don't lie by 10, 15 pounds. Be completely honest. It's for your safety. They're not going to judge you. If they're wanting to suspend you, it's because they probably think you're awesome. And you've asked them to suspend you. And if they have volunteered to do that, then they obviously do not have an issue with your body style or your weight. Be honest. Say how much you weigh. It is for your safety. They need to know exactly that amount so that they can put the ropes right, so they can put all the carabiners right, so they can put everything into place. It's going to make sure that you don't accidentally fall from the sky and injure yourself. Be honest. Okay, so after I just bored you for like 9 minutes, and I hope I didn't bore you, that you actually got some information out of this, let's talk about rope. Let's talk about what I started with when I first got into this thing. Okay, so this is nylon. You can get it at any Home Depot, Lowe's, any other hardware store that's near you. I've never seen 6mm at a Walmart or Kmart, but I'm pretty sure you can pick it up. This is what most people start out at. I kind of didn't whip the ends. I electric taped it, which doesn't look too hot, but it works for if you're just doing floor work. I carry it around in a lunchbox, like a, what do you call it, Big Bang Theory lunchbox. That's why I carried it around in the longest time. I didn't have a rope bag. I have one now. It's pretty extensive. It's on the other side of the bed. I go get it, but you just like, you have too much rope. I need another bag, so we're going to work on that. And I apologize if my stomach is grumbly. I haven't been feeling good all day, so this is probably not the best time to do this video. Okay, so nylon. It's really, really soft. You can get it for fairly cheap. Usually it's like 75 cents a foot, some ridiculous amount. When I went, they messed up at the store and accidentally put it down as like 10 cents a foot, so I ended up with like a huge amount of it. Nothing to do with it. It feels really soft on the skin. It's good for doing bedroom ties. It's not, I would say, and this is just my personal opinion, I would not use this for suspensions. One, I don't think it's rated for suspensions. The other thing that I have a problem with is the fact that it slips. If I was to tie something on my skin and move just the wrong way, it would slip to a different position. Personally, I think that if you are suspended with that there is a chance that it may slip to the wrong section of your body or your leg, and you may cut off circulation. I personally would just use it for floor work. So there's your nylon. Bamboo. This is one of my newest ones. Should I get this before I got the, after I got the synthetic hemp, but we'll go over that in a second. You can get it dyed in different colors. It's very, very soft. If I was to do suspensions with it, I would work it in with a different type of rope so that I double the, what do you call it? Double the rating, so that I would make sure that my, so sorry. So I'd make sure that my bottom, because usually you call them bottom, I call myself a rope bunny. That's just, it feels more comfortable to me. So you'd make sure they're nice and secure. This particular one I got in green. You can get it in purple, you can get pink, you can get anything. There's a lot of different retailers online that sell it. I got it off a website called Etsy, E-T-S-Y. And it was fairly cheap. I think I paid, how many feet did I get? 26. I got 104 feet and I paid like 60 bucks. Just going through the person I went through. I have been tied up in it so far, and I really, really like how soft it is. I think this would look really good with photographs. So if you're doing a lot of photography work, I would recommend that. It's definitely one of my new favorites. Okay, now this is the part where you're going to laugh at me. Okay, so this is synthetic hemp. I got this rope after being tied up in it numerous times. I don't think this is a 6. It looks like it, but it looks bigger. After being tied up in it numerous times by my rope top, and I decided, look, if I'm going to go through the process of being tied up, I also need to know how to tie. So I wanted to have my own rope. And as part of that, I had to, we co-bought rope together. Went over his house one day, we cut it, we treated it, we burned off all the little hairs that were still on it. I went home, I washed it several times. Okay, here's what you're going to need to know. A couple things about synthetic hemp. If you have someone who has a grass allergy, they need to tell you, or you need to ask them if they have grass allergies. Sometimes people just won't tell you. this will make your grass allergy flare like no other. There's still little pieces of grass and stuff in it, and when it rubs up against my skin, I can feel it. I'm not allergic, but some people are. When you wash this, here's a little clue for you. When you wash your rope, do not just throw it in the wash machine willy-nilly and just put it in there. You need to daisy chain it, put it inside a lingerie bag, wash it on cold 3 or 4 times with non-scented laundry soap. So like your all clear, that's what I use. Then you're going to take it out. You're going to stretch it out again after you're done washing it 3 or 4 times. You're going to lay it out over something flat, or you can hang it like outside. If you have an area outside, you can hang it so it dries faster. Then you are going to take that back after it's been dried and everything, and you're going to treat it with jojoba oil. You're just going to put a little bit of it in your hand. You're going to run the rope through your hand. I'd show you. Let me show you how I do it. Now I'm going to have to put it back together. Okay. So you're going to have the jojoba oil in your hand, and you're just going to run it through your hand to where that jojoba oil gets on there. I do it twice just because I like my rope super soft. Then you are going to lay it out again and let it dry yet again. So that's how you do that. This is how you should do your ends. Most people prefer to do their ends. If you have your ends knotted, that's traditionally how a lot of people do it. But this will make it easier when you're running rope through and you're trying to do ties. You whip your ends, and there's lots of tutorials online on how to do that. I'm not the best at it, so some of my rope has whipped ends and some of it doesn't. I think I'm going to have to spend an entire day just whipping ends and getting them done, because it's going to look a whole lot better and it's going to tie better. So give me a second. Okay. This isn't the best tie, but I'm just doing this to get this out of the way. And I'll fix it in a little bit. Okay. So you have that. Synthetic hemp is kind of scratchy, but I'm more of a texture person, so I like that scratchiness. It's not going to scratch your skin. It's just going to feel like, here's a good example. Like a soft kitten is just like coming up and like gently rubbing her tongue up against you. That's the best way I can describe it. Then we have, oh, okay, so little tidbit about me. Since I am so personally at this point addicted to the feel of rope around me, I sleep with a piece of rope tied around my leg, and I will show you. This is tied around my leg every single night. It's not tied too tight, it's just basically tied around the upper part of my ankle. It makes me feel secure, and because I am the way I am, I can't really say in this video because some people will notice. If you can guess by the shirt, there you go. I get a sense of security and warmth and feelings when I'm tied like that, so I'm able to sleep more. It's just something that I do. So it's a little weird I know most people don't do that, but I think there are a lot of rope bunnies that do. So there is that. Okay, last one. This just came in the mail today. This is my jute. I have been tied with jute quite a bit. Most of the people I know who do suspensions use jute. This particular jute was already treated for me. They use a wax to treat it. If I ever wash it, I'm going to have to learn to do it myself. I would tell you the process of treating it, but since I didn't treat it, I can't go through that process with you. Because I don't want you to do it wrong. I don't want to give you the wrong information. I bought it from this company called, it's M0COJUTE, Moko Jute, but the O is a 0. I ended up getting 104 feet for $95, and that was with them treating it. All their jute that they do is non-dyed. It's all natural. They did not whip my ends for me, but this is what I was talking about. Like, a lot of times you'll find that the ends are just knotted. That's okay. If you want to just knot your ends, it's completely okay. Just keep in mind it's going to make it more difficult when you try to pull rope through, and you're going to have to work around it. It's completely your choice and your aesthetic reasons why you have it like that. Okay, so there you go. I have 4 different types of rope. There is another rope out there which I have been tied in, and I will tell you what it feels like. I cannot show you. I'm sorry. You're going to have to look it up yourself. Called coconut rope. There's actually coconut rope, and there's another one which I cannot remember its name. It is very, very, if you've ever felt the outside of coconut, how scratchy the outside of coconut is, the entire piece of rope is like that. It's usually done in 4mm. You don't want to use it for suspensions at all. It is not rated for that. Do not go out and say, well, I think this is really cool, and it'll scratch her and she'll hate it, and I'll suspend her with it, and then she falls. Don't do that. It's pretty intense, and it's the closest thing I would say to being tied up with barbed wire that you can get. Like, it's that scratchy and that horrible. I have had it tied on my face. I've had it tied on my legs. I've had it tied around my boobs. With these things we call cupcakes, you basically take the boobs and you go around, and it makes the boob go out, and it looks like a cupcake. It also makes the boob really, 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 really red. So imagine having all that intensity, and then also having the fact that you're getting yourself scratched to death because this stuff is that intense. I do not personally own any. It's something that I may want to purchase at some point. It's just not in the cards at this point right now. Let's see what else I can tell you. Oh, before I forget, and this is going to come as a shock, but I'm just going to say it. Respect your top or your rigger. They're there to make sure that you're safe and secure, and do everything in their power to make sure things go right. You have every right to speak up and say, hey, that tie's not working for me, or that hurts. or could you please stop that? On the other hand, if you ask them to do a certain tie on you, do not continuously try to tell them how to do it while they're doing it. It's very rude. I know you're trying to be helpful. I do it all the time. I have to catch myself because I'm like, but if you go under there, and then I get these looks of, I've been tying like 3 times more than you have. So what are you talking about? And then I have to just like muffle it all in. Oh, and here's a little tip. Last thing, and then I'll let you go for the day. If you are wanting to learn to tie and you do not have a person to tie, this goes for girls or guys. There are very easy things you can do. I would bring mine in here, but she looks horrible right now because I did the rope like nobody's business last night, and it would take me 10 minutes to undo it. Buy yourself a dress form. Like, it doesn't even have to be an expensive one. Like, you can get one of those cheap like ones that have the velvet on the outside instead of the cloth for like 30-40 bucks. Find one of those. You won't be able to do a lot of ties that require you to go around the legs. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do that because it cuts off. It cuts off like right here. But you will be able to do a lot of chest ties, and you can at least start with that and see how that goes. My top has told me that the way he learned how to do single column ties was he sat in the middle of his living room with a piece of wood, like a dowel, and continuously in between his legs, and continuously did the tie over and over on that dowel. So there's ways that you can learn on your own. There's a lot of YouTube videos. There's Two Naughty Boys does a video. I'm trying to think of some other people, but if I think of some, then maybe I'll just put it in the notes. They do a lot of stuff. It's just up to you how you want to go with it. Don't get too stressed. Have fun with it. And above all, just remember, safety is number one. It is not third. As funny as that sounds, safety is number one. I hope you guys have a great day. This is only my 3rd video. I promise all my videos won't be long-winded. And hope you have a great April. Bye now.